Hola, amigos, and welcome to an all-new Bullet Points. Who are you?
Judd Dunning.
I'm Michael Loftus. Guess how many subscribers we have?
1,262.
You cheated, bitch. That is right, and we're growing every day thanks to you guys. Here's the way the show works.
Up 61. What'd you say?
Here's how it works. We got 5 big stories. We have 2 minutes per story. We fly through. Then there's a wild card that will be wild. There will be some kind of sexual activity, something that's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Okay, so here's tonight's 5 bullet points. Judd Dunning, bullet point number 1.
Welcome back to the most exciting 18 minutes of the internet, red, blue, magenta, bullet points nation. Topic 1, God save Trump and the Queen as Trump goes to grand old England.
They're losing their minds. Bullet point number 2.
Climate Joe has to go. Biden gets cannibalized by socialistic running mates for only being middle extreme green.
He's not crazy enough. Bullet point number 3.
Start spreading the news.
And your legs.
Whoa,
What?
hey. 1260. New York, wait, we just gave 10 more. New York bans cat declawing after greenlighting abortions at dilation. Priorities, priorities.
Kind of tipped our hand there. Bullet point number 4.
Boom. The Parkland no courage case advances as Scott Peterson finally goes to jail.
Holy smoke. And bullet point number 5.
Trump wall win. Judge tosses the House Dems lawsuit out for trying to block Trump's use of military funds for the border wall.
There's so much to cover. This wall thing. Come on, wall. And then we're gonna do some promotions for some private stuff.
We are.
And then there's gonna be a wild card, like I said. So let's just jump right in. We're flying through. We're gonna hit bullet point numero 1. Trump and his visit to London. What say you, Judd Dunning? Put 2 minutes on the clock. Tick tock.
I'm feeling efficient and fast this show.
I love it.
Okay, so well, the great thing is Trump joined George Bush and Obama for 2 of the presidents that got to have their own official state visits. Was out of 13 that she's actually seen. It was beautiful. He honored the Queen. He honored the D-Day veterans. He hailed common values and unity for NATO and Britain. And on our, for those of us to the right, it's been an awesome visit. Once again, standing up for principles. As far as the left goes, it was a complete meltdown. Michael Loftus.
They're losing their minds. I thought Trump derangement syndrome was bad in America. Right. But in England, they're like, watch this. We're really going to go bonkers. It's like, hey, we understand. Talk about a group of people who are just rooting to make their prison even bigger.
Right.
It's like, you've got crappy health care. Yeah, I know it's free, but it's garbage. Oh, I don't have to pay for it. That's wonderful. That's why Mick Jagger got his ticker fixed in the old good US of A.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, he's a racist. Oh, he's sexist. Oh, he's homophobic. Oh, he doesn't like Muslims. Hey, none of that is true. None of that is provable. There is no Muslim ban, blah, blah, blah. And jolly old England people, why don't you check your stats? You've got a higher murder rate than New York City and London. It's fallen apart. Even John Cleese from Monty Python says so. He's like, it's not culturally London anymore. You're losing your bloody identities. Get out. You don't want to be in the EU. But they'll protest. They'll protest to stay in the EU. They'll protest, oh, Donald Trump, he's garbage.
Yeah, and their biggest claim is that is how he stands on immigration, which is why the Brexit came to pass. There was like, oh, he's racist and he hates immigration and he hates immigrants. And they're like, wait a minute, the entire Brexit was based on keeping the identity of the British EU. And it's completely ridiculous, but I loved how he trashed the mayor of London. So
Sadiq Khan's a joke. Khan!
And short.
Bullet point number 2.
2 minutes. Are we bringing it in?
We're doing it.
I want to do it.
Little Joey Biden sitting in a corner. All right, this is the Joe Biden one.
I don't have the ending for that song.
I don't know either.
It'll come to me later.
It's like a nursery. I like how low I am. I'm like aerodynamically ready to do news.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna join you a little bit there. I feel a little better here.
I love it.
Equal playing field, because life's got to be fair.
Okay.
All right, not really.
Joe Biden's in big trouble with the rest of the Democratic field.
Yeah, Biden just look. He's
Now,
back.
Hold on.
Okay,
Wait, are we putting 2 minutes on the clock?
We shall.
2 minutes.
Give it to us. Give us some
Give
bullet
me a
shots,
little
producer.
bang, bang.
Give us some kind of noise. Thank you, Barry. Okay,
That's the
overkill.
starting gun. You got to go.
Okay.
You're off.
Okay,
Go.
so anyway, Biden came out with his plan for a clean energy revolution, environmental justice, Michael Loftus. It was a 22-page document, and he was immediately hit for plagiarizing from from the Blue-Green Alliance and the Carbon Capture Coalition.
Joe Biden can't do it.
He's like, quickly, let's create this plan to make it
He
green. The world
has
is. Then he
to
goes, the world is
plagiarize.
ending. The world is ending in 12 years. He came out and said, science tells us that how we act or fail in the next 12 years will determine the very livability of the planet. When you pull the 12 years the world is ending card, you know what? Your platform is having problems, Joe.
So who's mad at him?
So, well, Ocasio-Cortez, for one, is saying that he's just, he's tackling climate. He's middle of the road. He's middle of the road. So, everybody's been, they called it today, Trump's press platform called it a group of 20 homogenous socialists running for the other presidential role. And he's being attacked by everybody on his side because he's not green enough. Now, that being said, last point is he only wants to spend $2 trillion up to 2050 instead of $93 trillion, but he's still claiming the world's going to end in 93. Joe, I don't think so. So that's where we're at. I mean, he's getting desperate.
Here's a picture of Joe Biden smelling AOC's hair. Yeah!
Thank God,
They're
buddy.
all nutty. They're all nutty. Seriously, I'm going to go back to a show we did a little while ago. We just need like a new team of scientists to prove to me that global warming's real. Like, seriously.
Trump's doing that. Remember our last show? He is calling
That's
a
right.
panel.
That's right.
He's calling a panel
So let's do that.
of checking everything. So it's
And
going to happen.
I think it's hilarious that Joe Biden's already plagiarized.
Are you giving Trump tips on how to be president?
Biden plagiarized when he first ran. He plagiarized speeches. He ripped it. He's like he has no new ideas. He has no original thoughts. He's just like a weird like. Remember that movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
Where they would do clones, but each one got worse.
Yeah.
That's like Joe Biden is like the 7th clone of Bobby Kennedy. That was perfect. Bullet point number
We are moving. This is going to be a record-breaking show. I can feel it till we digress in the middle of the promo.
Who am I looking at? Who's this on the screen?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Scott Peterson, the ex-deputy Scott Peterson, who was arrested today finally for his negligence at the Parkland shooting for child neglect and negligence.
So he's on trial.
Yeah, and 1 count of perjury. So he was arrested today.
Okay, so that's the topic. Scott Peterson arrested for child endangerment and a bunch of other stuff. Put 2 minutes on the clock. Let's rock and roll. This guy's what we used to call a coward.
Yeah, yellow-bellied coward. Really.
That's what they would do, right? Like in the old movies, you're like, you ain't nothing but a yellow-bellied coward. Don't you say that, and like whatever. God. It's tough, man. I'm really first of all, let's do at least some comedic take on this. The dude's name is Scott Peterson. Like, is there a person out there in the universe named Scott Peterson who is just like the worst person on the planet?
Murderer, coward.
Right? It's always like Scott Peterson murdered his wife and his kid. Scott Peterson murdered his wife. Now you got Scott Peterson standing by while kids are being shot. Listen, Arthur Ashe, the great tennis player. I really looked up to Arthur Ashe. I was a big tennis guy back in the day. He said his one regret in life was not serving in combat. Because you don't know, you've never been tested, and that used to be like a big thing with young men going off to war. That you would finally know, you would finally have that question answered. And I don't know if sending this guy to jail is the right thing to do. It's
got to be a due process situation. Obviously, Scott Peterson, like what it actually means in like some other languages, don't trust your inner voice because it's a lot of bad decisions. No,
Scott Peterson is a Viking phrase that means don't do it.
Yeah, that's not smart. So, but I mean, look, we know what happened. He went to the corner. He freaked out. He told other law officers not to come. See, that was the greatest level of cowardice. And America's holding him responsible, which I think is great. I mean, that's moral. That's not moral relatives. That's good and bad. Like America's seeing good and bad.
That's where it goes off the rails for me. When he's telling other cops, "Don't come."
Yeah.
Because those guys maybe they go in, you save one kid's life. So yeah, it's horrible. There's nothing good.
And the heavy thing about it too is I think you have to remember David Hogg, who God bless him for surviving it, but taking his video. He's now studying political science at Harvard. This guy is so anti-gun. So there are other fallouts from this, which is going to be how are we treating the safety of the Second Amendment? This guy didn't only let these people get killed, he also affected our right to bear arms. So you have to take it one other level, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
I'm serious. Let's put armed guards in schools. Let's arm teachers, but you don't know who's
And let's
armed
ban
and who's
the name Scott Peterson. Definitely.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Bullet point. Numero 40.
Woo.
Scabang bang. I think we might be off one. Our pictures don't line up. I'm looking at a
What are you
picture
looking
of a
at?
cat.
Oh my gosh, yes, here we are. So
This is. I know which one this is.
Talk to me.
This is bullet point number 4. This is the one where in New York they're going to say it's illegal to declaw a cat.
yes.
Give me 2 minutes.
Okay. We are off on it.
Okay. So
funny.
it's illegal in the state of New York,
Right.
to declaw a cat.
They're voting for it right now, and it looks like it's going to go through.
Okay.
So
and I'm sure what they're saying is because the cat can feel the pain.
Yeah. Good for the sound department. Thank you.
I'm loving it.
It's good, getting good 26 shows later. You're
So
doing killing it.
here's where this whole thing rests, and I hope you started the clock, because New York is the same people who you can kill a baby all the way up till like month 9, like right before it
Dilation,
enters.
right before dilation is this. So if the womb has dilated, then there's an opening movement toward life. Then you can't do it.
So here's my point to the people of New York, and I'm sure this is obviously your point as well, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and steal it. So if you think it hurts a cat to have its claws taken out, don't you think it would hurt a kid to have like its arms ripped off its body and like just
brain sucked out, its
Yeah.
neck broken. That's what
There's
they have
nothing
to do.
pretty about
They have
that.
to
Listen,
dissect it.
we all love kitty cats, and like, so I'm cool. I'm cool with letting the cat have its claws. Paws up, don't shoot.
That's right.
But like, you can't, like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's like hypocrisy much? That's what I can't stand.
Right, and
Where-
it starts from like, I don't mean to be too on the nose, but going back to the soda tax, people don't realize the small movements, seriously, the small movements of controlling people's natural rights to choose, to injure yourself with sugar or whatever. Now we're going over to animals, but animals, this is like right after human life. It's the lowest bar, and this is what's happening in Alabama, Missouri, Georgia, which everyone's like, oh, they're rednecks. They're saying, hey, you have to abort by 6 or 8 weeks. After that, you have to
Yeah.
make a responsible decision. They're not saying you can't have an abortion.
Yeah.
So it's extremes, and it's a sad little day.
It is a sad
Or
day.
kitties
If
everywhere.
if it hurts a cat, it's gonna hurt a baby.
It's a tough. We tied it together.
Ba-bing, ba-boom.
Ba-boom.
We're there. Now we're on to the next one. Are we on to bullet point number 5?
Here we are.
Wow! We got wall news.
We do have wall news
It's-
coming out every day, actually.
Okay, this is a good one. Go ahead. This is bullet point number 5. 2 minutes on the clock.
2 minutes on the clock. Okay, listen, I think we should start with a little. Once in a while, we have to back reference to our show. So I'm going to do something for 1 minute. So we had a peak of like 97,000 people come in a single month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we turned around and then we had 30% of people that came and claimed asylum not having matching DNA, right? And the wall just continues to get worse and worse and worse. And so it looks like a federal judge was listening because they stopped the House Democrats' plan to block Trump from going ahead and using military funds to move forward in the wall. And this is a great case because now we're starting to look at the amount, how can the Congress, this case, affect the rights of the president, and back and forth. So this case is good, and it's also good for the wall, which means Trump may slip it through. Go.
It drives me crazy. Members of Congress, all they're doing is trying to stop Trump,
As their main point, not
That's
the
it.
agenda. Yeah.
There's a problem at the border. Sweet Lord in heaven. A fence. What's your drone thing? Do the frickin' drone thing. Do sensors. Do something. But it's like, you're the biggest group of losers I've ever seen. When Trump's like, okay, we won't do a wall, we'll do a fence. We don't want a fence, we want this. Okay, so do this. We don't want that, we want this. Okay, do this. Now just use ladders. Now just I cannot stand you. I cannot stand you. Get an idea. Move the ball forward. How many kids are dying? How many people are ODing in America who will not see tomorrow as we record this? Because you're too lazy to solve the problem. The problem isn't Trump, you tools, and that's what you've never understood. The problem is all the drugs and the people coming into our country. We don't know who they are. We're catching people from Africa now.
Yeah.
We're catching people from China now and Thailand. This isn't about we don't like Mexicans, and screw you for even thinking that. It's like we've had enough. We've had enough with the drugs and people crawling all over the place. So I've got a semi truck full of answers.
Very good.
Build the wall!
That was a good tie that in wrong. Because I was just thinking, I can imagine what domestic arguments are like in your house. I mean, you're so expressive. I'd be good. And then you, and then that. You got like 30 voices, you and your wife. All right. Anyway, moving forward, keep on rocking the wall, Trump.
Yeah.
It's why we elected you. Great news.
Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about projects.
Don't.
You know what I'm going to say. How's the book?
All right, great. So I went to the desert to work on the book, made a little bit of progress.
What are you, Jim Morrison?
I did. I didn't have to drop acid because I'm conservative. I just dropped some natural law.
Connected with your spirit animal. And said, what do you think about this as a chapter title?
My spirit animal is an American eagle, actually. If you're asking.
I think it's a little long. You could probably make a cut here.
Yeah, and a kitty cat, exactly, a New York kitty cat. So we're getting there. Listen, man, the landscape is changing on the Green New Deal every day. Scott Pruitt is changing. I mean, all the stats. If I had released the book this is my intuition. If I had released the book before all this Green New Deal devolution came out, if I had released the book right before abortions at dilation in New York, the book wouldn't even been relative. I literally had to stop it because the socialist left pre-election has gone so crazy. So hang in there.
Listen. No,
it's
we should dial in on that. That's a very, very interesting piece of information.
Yeah.
You're writing a book that's about politics, and it's such a fluid thing where you're like, okay, here are the stats today. Oh wait, that just happened.
Yeah.
That's a conundrum.
Yeah,
But hey man, you're doing it.
Yeah.
Although I don't think writing in the desert with an eagle as your editor I don't think you're gonna get a lot done.
He just gets into me while I'm naked, but I'm writing privately. Anyway, moving on to Michael Loftus. You were on the road. The Loftus Party, your new national tour, is kicking it. I've been watching your videos. Let us know what's going on.
Holy smoke. So night one, Nashville, Tennessee. Huge audience, standing ovation. It was nuts. Then we go to Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama won't have us on the radio.
Really?
Yup.
Wow.
Yeah, because you think all of Alabama is like the same, and I guess Huntsville is very odd because the space.
Like the Austin of Alabama or something.
Yeah, and they're like, no, if you're pro-Trump and pro-America and pro-conservative, nah.
Wow, they have the abortion law, but they won't put a conservative on the radio. Interesting.
Dude, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's getting worse. So then it makes me want to dial it up even more. So the Loftus Party live show is now the MAGA Country comedy tour.
Really?
Like two people can play this game.
Really?
Two people can play this game.
a great brand.
And so, the MAGA Country comedy tour. Everywhere I go is MAGA Country. Let's play. There's a comedy club, I'm not going to name names, that like, oh, I know this guy. And he's like, I can't have you in New York. I can't have you in the city because people will protest. I'll lose my club. It'll cost me my business. And I'm like, okay, that's
Isn't
cool,
Trump
man.
from New York?
I don't wanna do
There's got to be a few followers.
And dude, the redneck, the redneck liberal, the liberal hillbilly, that kid, you see him all over Facebook. He's playing Carolines this weekend. New York Times. Isn't it awesome? There's a hillbilly redneck.
Right.
But God help you if you're pro-conservative. They're doing a very good job of convincing
Wait a
everyone.
minute, isn't that just patriotic? I mean, and we gotten to the point where just being like loving your country and patriotic. We've called it nationalism. It's the devolution now that we've just separated our values from just loving your country. I mean, it's really, forget Trump for a second. You know, make America great again. That's pretty awesome.
That's
right?
Make America Great Again
Yeah.
is now code for racist Nazi worse than the devil.
I refuse.
So yeah, go to theloftusparty.com. We're adding a bunch of dates where it's going very well. And
Awesome.
Next week I might even have more news. Okay.
Nice. And don't go to the Loftus Party because Michael, you're churning out how many videos a week? 4 or 5 videos a week?
Holy smoke. No, it's not that many. I've got quality
Few.
control. A couple. There's articles.
Yeah.
You can post stuff. Go sign in. You can post.
LoftusParty.com. All right. And all right, moving on.
Red Bull, you treat me so good. Here we go. We're at the wild card. This week it will be wild because we are talking about
Woo! Woo!
The balls of dodging. Dodgeball. Skadoosh.
I think he said sexual. There's no sexual element
No,
to the
there
wild
isn't.
card. That was a teaser.
No. Yeah, exactly. There'll be sex in some of these. Here you go. There you go.
There we go.
There's a ball.
Take the ball in the face. There we go. Moving on. So the not so great white North has said that dodgeball is a tool of oppression. Give us 2 minutes on the clock. All right. And Michael Loftus, you get to lead off on this one.
Canada wants to say bye-bye to dodgeball.
What?
They're saying, I want to quote their quote. They're saying, this goes against what we want to teach. We want students to develop robust, equal, productive relationships and critical awareness. Bitch, you just described dodgeball.
That is dodgeball.
Right?
Right?
You buddy up with
Me
your
and
friend.
you.
Hey, get that guy. Bang. So we just had a productive little agreement. We're equal. It's
like capitalism on a in a daily training hour.
Yeah.
Just like, this is capitalism.
And it is critical awareness.
Toughen up.
Dodgeball's great. You have to have it in school because it really is a metaphor for life. Sometimes, things are going to be thrown at you. You either dodge, you catch, it hurts.
It's true. It's got an Aikido quality because it's not only attacking, it's dodging.
Yeah.
Which is life. It is half dodging. That's a great point.
And we have overcorrected. We have like a lot of comics. It's kind of hack. Everybody gets a trophy. Not when I was a kid. But like for real, we got to stop this. We got to stop this.
Can we actually reverse it? Can America toughen up without a war? I mean, what's gonna like a real war, like a draft? I mean, what's gonna bring? They're calling this legalized bullying. They're calling it oppressive and miseducative. I mean, seriously, it's the game we all grew up as kids.
It's Canada.
It's Canada, though.
They drink milk out of a bag.
They shot it down in Louisiana, so that's true.
Well, Louisiana is America, so hopefully America will hang on to dodgeball. Yeah. There needs to be some kind of bullying. You learn by being bullied a little bit.
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of it completely, and there's life skills. You got to pick yourself back up. You got to learn when to fight back. You got to learn, as a very wise friend of mine once said, it's a good lesson to learn that not everybody likes you, and that's okay.
Oh, I loved your
dad. That's some zen right there.
Your dad's a good guy.
That's not my dad.
Just kidding.
That's fantastic. I know what you're doing there. You tried to sneak it.
That was funny. No, but I just think, look, man, if we had some if there were transgender warriors crushing it in dodgeball, like that show we did a little while ago where people like, oh, it's okay that they're crushing it in these sports, men or in women's sports. If this was involved, it would probably be a whole different story. I mean, that's how far we've lost the plot. I mean, in some sports, we've got men and women competing, and now this one is considered off bounds because it's aggressive.
Someone's gonna get their feelings hurt. They ganged up on me. You suck. God. Don't get rid of dodgeball, Canada. You're barely hanging on. You're barely interesting to start with. If you get rid of dodgeball, all you're gonna have left is BAMF. That's our show.
Once again,
I'm Michael Loftus.
I'm Judd Dunning.
This was Bullet Points. Keep those nipples covered.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tell your friends. Thanks for coming out and watching our new show, Bullet Points with Michael Loftus and Judd Dunning. Make sure to subscribe, tell your friends, spread the good red word, and hit the little bell below so you get notifications every time we come out with a new show.